Hey guys, just wanted to throw in a quick note right before we get started here. Over the course of this podcast in particular, we'll be providing images as a visual aid as we discuss the various attributes of logos that represent various sports organizations, but are also used on jerseys, hats, t-shirts, buttons, the usual ephemera. We just wanted to say that we are in no way affiliated with any of the organizations that we discuss or any of the teams we discuss, and do not claim any ownership of those images whatsoever. The images are present to provide context for the things that we discuss over the course of the podcast. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. Oh, we only need 10? We're going to do all 10?
No, because I'm saying we're going to do 5.
Okay.
So you only need 10, because worst case scenario, I'll take 5.
Okay, yeah.
Like, think about it in a perfect world. You would take your first, then I would take your second, then you would take your third, then I would take your fourth, etc.
Right.
And that would be enough.
Right, I hear you. Ugh, I just don't know how drafts work because I don't care. Anyway, that's a good reason to do them.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, whatever. So we're on another episode of first of the new year of the Whipcast, the WIP cast. We're still trying to come up with a title.
Yeah, which is still the best short-term name I can think of, because, God, I can't think of a better name yet.
So if you want me to draw you some, that's how I roll. But if you want me to come up with a clever name...
I thought for a second that it was about to extend to, like, if you want me to draw you something, I'm all over it. If you want me to come up with something clever... Me forget talk. Good. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back.
So the Whipcast episode, whatever the fuck number it is. So
8,
we thought
9.
to celebrate the brand new year, we're gonna do a brand new fantasy draft.
Woo!
And we're gonna do it on something that we find, I think it appeases both of our tastes.
Yeah, I think it's funny you mention that, because I was trying to think of, like, what the best lead-in for this one would be. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it really is kind of like, the best blending of two worlds. Mm-hmm. We are going to do, for lack of a better phrase, sports identities, sports brands, logos, uniforms, colors, the whole shebang. And I think part of, like, sports are such a visceral thing to watch from just a pure athletic standpoint, and
you can't really escape it living in America.
Well, and, like, But the aesthetics of it, the aesthetics of sport, they're such, like, an inextricable part of the experience in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't matter, right? Like, if you took the New England Patriots roster and traded all 53 to the Jacksonville Jaguars in exchange for all 53 Jaguars.
So if a team just swapped cities.
Yeah, in essence, right?
Yeah.
The Patriots would lose some of their charm because people would be like, Tom Brady's great, and this team has a first-round bye all the way through the playoffs, but what the fuck is with the two-toned helmets?
It's the friggin' one thing to have. It gives Boston a reason not to be pretentious about another sports team, so...
Well, sure.
I would see that as a victory.
I would see that as a huge victory. But more to the point, like, I don't know, I find it funny that in sports, like, life imitates sport imitates art, and, like... the, fashionability of things, or I guess the pure aesthetic appeal of things, like, it matters to people.
It's funny, because as we're sitting here, I'm wearing my Portland Timbers hoodie right now.
Yeah, and I'm wearing athletic shorts.
Yeah. We live in America. That's the only thing that matters in this this country.
Yeah, well, true that.
All right, so if we decided who wants to go first, you said you were going to give it to me, but I think we should do a coin flip.
I think we should do a coin flip.
Because I just dropped it twice now, and we're going to use a prop.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely advertised its existence. I don't mean that to
I break my buns, make the best work I can, and you just throw me under the dang bus.
Do you think they didn't hear it? Do you think...
No, they heard it.
Do you think it didn't come through
when it went like... Yeah, they heard that.
Ironically, I didn't hear anything.
I hate you.
I'm kidding. Flip it. Do you want me to call it in the air?
Yeah.
All right. Tails, hurry up, Tails. Come on, Tails.
It's Tails, boy.
Yeah, baby.
Florida? Really? All right.
Does that mean I get to choose to defer to the second half? You're like, no.
Just go first.
I'm going to go first. All right. Any reason to belabor it? No other preamble?
Oh, shit. Do we want to do that?
I don't care.
Okay, I really don't
I know
care
how
either.
your day... I mean, look, spoiler alert, we're family.
Yeah.
We haven't done one of these in the last couple weeks because it's been the holiday season. I
We know what's going
how
on.
you've been.
Yeah.
So suck it, audience. Hey, audience, how are you? Yeah?
You want to be a part of this family?
That's
Too
pretty-
bad.
No, that's cool. How's work going? Yeah. I hear that. Yeah. So 2015, any cool resolutions?
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Ah, that's nice. Anyway, enough with the small talk.
Enough of this.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump into it. I've got
Bob Ross in it.
Well, shoot. Let's just get to our picks today, and in the event that I don't get to take all the ones that I wanted, that's okay.
I'll still have the ones I got anyway. And I know I ordered these in numbers from 1 to 2, but that doesn't mean I love them any more or less.
That's awesome.
They're all number 1 in my book.
All right. First overall, I'm gonna take the Michigan Wolverines football.
Wow. Oh, like the blue and yellow M looking deal?
Let's call it what it is. It's the maize and blue. Maize is the specific shade of yellow.
Oh, really?
Fun fact: the Indians use that word for corn.
I never knew that.
There's an old Simpsons joke about that.
So a maze. Corn maze.
That is an amazing coincidence.
You know, again.
I'm taking Michigan. The maize and blue. It's blue and gold is
It works.
such a great color combination. It looks great, especially when blue is the dominant color and gold is the accent color.
Right, because then if you see just blue inside of yellow, it's just like, where's the rest of the blue?
Yeah, and Michigan. As I was doing this, I was like, man, a lot of my choices have been around for
Ever?
like century plus, just because like that's I think what makes a timeless thing, right? Is like you don't rebrand if you've reached a thing that looks classic and timeless and doesn't need updating.
Yeah.
And Michigan, I think, has that with
Yeah.
its blue and gold. Its block M letter is, I think, tight. I think it's really
Yeah.
representative of like the college aesthetic period because
Yeah.
a lot of like most schools still do that. And
I said I'm gonna have to make a note to put to make sure everybody's on the same playing field of knowing what we're talking about. I'm gonna have to have images of the logos and stuff that we pick in the middle of the show.
I think that'd be great. And then put a really big zoomed in Michigan helmet in at some point because the helmet is what really sets off Michigan as number 1 for me. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I actually don't. I'm gonna actually look that
The
up right
winged
now.
Michigan helmet with like it's like a blue helmet with like yellow wings kind of in essence going back. It's 100%, I think, as far as I know, unique to Michigan, at least at the FBS level. And if I remember right, and it's possible my memory's wrong, a real person would have put research in and done that beforehand, but I believe the reason they made that pattern is because it approximated like the leather helmet design
Oh yeah.
from like back when football helmets were just leather. Yep, there it is. Pulled it
Oh
up.
yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest, like, single identifiable things for any program, any team, anywhere, ever. And I love it. I think...
It's
like,
funny how you say that, though, and I was just like, oh yeah, those helmets.
Yeah, right? Because you know, right? Like, maybe you didn't pick
I didn't
it up
like
at
pick
first,
because like I
but-
don't care about college football,
Right.
so like I care about I know it's like icons and stuff, so I know that.
Yeah, so to me,
That's called being iconic.
yeah, the maize and blue, the incredibly unique helmets, the cool block letter, like everything about Michigan as a football program.
Not as a state.
With the exception of their record the last couple years.
Damn.
Screams iconic, legendary, like 100% beyond compare. First pick, Michigan Wolverines. Lock it up.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm actually going to change mine up a little bit because the first pick I had on here was a bit more for sentimental value than anything else.
Aw.
So for my...
You don't have to change it, but, hey, it's your draft.
I know,
what you want.
I was thinking about it in terms of how they look and which one would I rather look at more. Like, it's kind of the weird thing where it's like, it's how I value music, too. It's like, would I value this on, like, an iPod or doing literally anything? That's why, like, I don't like certain genres of music.
Oh, man.
So, a music genre draft? Oh,
yeah.
my God. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I was just going to say.
I'm going to jump right into my pick, the New York Knicks.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, there's just something so amazing about the way that entire thing looks together. Complimenting what you said about the blue and yellow. Blue and orange
is
just been... You can't really say anything that hasn't been said about blue and orange. You just kind of can't. But the thing about the New York Knicks is that, like, it incorporates every single fucking thing I love about colors and shapes and text and appropriating all of them into one thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it on my phone right now just to refresh my memory on how awesome it is. And you got the giant orange circle shape of the basketball. You got, like, the floating kind of, like, big, bold text with the Knicks right in there.
Yep.
It's all kept into, like, an emblematic kind of triangle that is going down.
Yep.
And, of course, you got, like, the text up top, New York and stuff. So it incorporates small details, big details, and it all just comes together in a perfect package with the colors and shit.
It's a great choice. The blue and orange is a terrific point. I thought for a little while about putting the Broncos, like the old school Broncos, with the horse coming out of the D, because I think blue and orange is great. I thought about putting the Florida Gators on here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the blue and orange looks really good down there. Didn't end up doing either, but you're exactly right. Knicks logo, I'm looking at it, by the way. I pulled up the database.
Yeah.
Since 1975, basically unchanged. They've added a few, like, frills. They've added a few little tweaks.
Oh, that's cool.
But, like, with the exception of this
freaking,
weird...
like, Yankees logo?
Yeah, well, they've made a bunch of, like, alternates just because, whatever.
Because why not? I gotta pay some graphic
I
design.
I like the apple as one of the alternates.
That is kind of cool.
It's so silly.
I always wondered what that NYK was. What's funny? Like the one in the orange in the circle.
That's a subway station.
Yeah.
It's actually not. It means New York Knicks. Just in case the audience was unclear on my sarcasm.
Just in case someone from New York's just like, oh, no, it ain't.
Yeah. There is no NYK line, dipshit.
And you calling me, you think you know more about basketball in New York than me? I'm from New Jersey.
But I love it. I mean, from the 60s on, it's
pretty much the same.
With Knicks. And then in the, 90s, they added the triangle backdrop. And they kind of, like, refined the basketball a little bit. Like,
it's funny because as a designer, I'm thinking, like, this thing has been iconic for dozens of years. What do we need to add? Triangle.
Duh, dude. Well,
slightly light blue triangle.
I don't want to tip my hand too much to some of my future things that are on my list, but adding something simple, like a backdrop, like a triangle or like a crest of some kind, really makes a difference.
It really does. So that's my first pick.
It's a great choice. It is not the New York choice I would have made, however, which leads me into my second, which is the New York Yankees.
Okay.
The New York Yankees have to be considered probably the most iconic team in world history,
Pretty
in
much.
essence. Just because baseball, for the better part of a century, was a national pastime, and football was like this weird side game that was like basically like American lacrosse in like the early 20s and 30s.
Isn't that weird to think about that?
Yeah.
Because look at Sunday Night Tonight, man.
Mm-hmm. Second overall pick, New York Yankees. Timeless New York style. I'll get into the aesthetics in a minute, but like my favorite thing about the Yankees is everyone outside of New York, and in some cases, for Mets fans or disenfranchised non-baseball fans, most people hate the Yankees just because they're the evil empire.
Sure.
They have spent whatever money they've wanted on anything ever to buy the best teams. And the Yankees like to flaunt their 27 World Series championships, which is far and away the most of any franchise ever. And, like, to some extent, I get the criticism where it's like, yeah, you won 27 titles, but most of those came at a time where, like, the league wasn't integrated, and there were, like, four teams, and the Yankees were one of them, and you happened to have, like, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, which was 100% unfair. Like, to me, that criticism misses the point.
You can always make semantics about everything you look at.
Well, and it misses the point, which is, like, they won 27 titles because they've been around for so long in what are effectively the exact same
like circumstances,
uniforms, and
not
with effectively the same logo.
Yeah.
Maybe let me finish.
Sorry,
before you jump in.
We
with
finish
wrong
each other's
thoughts.
sandwiches. Anyway,
but the logo I think is cool. The interlocked NY. I think it was designed by the Tiffany company. Weirdly, back in the day,
I have to look into that. That's cool.
Their pinstripes. I mean, it's just a classic, very classy look. The number plates on the back with the no names on the jersey. It's terrific. The navy and the white. I love it. The Yankees
kind of like soft gray.
The Yankees are like Penn State football, but to a factor in my mind of like at least 5. The Yankees have been around forever. You can't beat the simplicity. I love it. I love it.
It's great.
Yankees
number
2.
It goes to show what timeless means and how it can help anybody.
Yeah.
So, I can dig it.
Well, and see, again, like when I was going through this, I was like, man, all of the things I've picked were going to have been established like in the early 1900s, if not sooner.
Yep. It goes to show how timeless things just, like I've said, I'm pretty sure I just said it already, it just works.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, right? Well, on it, to me, it's kind of the design equivalent of if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a cute little glass you got there.
I didn't want to use the giant Denver Broncos mug because you complained about it last time.
Well, it's a pain in the ass to wash my hand because you're not supposed to dishwash that.
Whatever. All right.
It's actually not a pain in the ass, but it's more of a pain in the ass.
Doing dishes?
Doing nothing.
Oh, anyway. So moving on to number 3 for me, or is it number 2 for me?
Number 2 for you.
Yeah, because I skipped one. That's right. Whatever.
So I got you, dog.
I got you, dog. I got you.
Oh, hell no, dog.
Hey, kid. All right, before we get sidetracked there, my number 2 pick, the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, solid choice.
The sea whale. I think that's awesome. Just the fact that I had to say sea whale, but some people are just like, sea whale? Where else would they be? No, we're talking about an actual.
You don't get it.
Yeah, an actual letter. C, you know what I'm talking about?
For Canucks.
Yep. And I'm picking the one that actually is before the most recent one they have, which is just the white and kind of deep blue. It's when it had like splashes of red and other colors in it, like the jersey I have.
Yeah.
There's just something I love when people use design elements to kind of make a letter out of something.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about the one where they made the skate? The Canucks skate uniform?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
It's going to be our most, like... Are you talking about the one on the far right?
Oh, no. That's, I'm looking at the whale, and when it had more colors in it.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Because that, the one with the skate is, like, very 90s, and how, like, it looks kind of...
Yes, it is.
It is 90s as shit. It's too busy for me. Like, this all comes down to simple design elements and how aesthetics have changed, but, I mean, the 90s were crazy.
Oh, duh. With the red in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the early 2000s. Okay. I forgot they did that.
I'm just a total sucker for it, because, like, I think the look is cool. Like, I have a puck and like a stick with Canucks ephemera on it. I love it. I got a jersey. Mm-hmm. Like, it just goes to show how much I just love that graphic. I love it. I wish there was just more I could really say about it, but it's like, it borrows so much from like the kind of Inuit kind of painting style.
Yeah, which is
100%.
It's 100% representative of the area.
Yeah,
like the Vancouver. We went to the Native American. Like cultural museum when we took a trip up to BC.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. That's exactly the style.
I love that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like when people integrate things like that into their designs.
It's a cool little like homage.
As shitty as it is to say it, it's like one of those things where it's like you see like Redskins stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's
Black Hawks.
Indian not helicopters, motorcycles, like Indian brand motorcycles and stuff. Like, I don't know why, but like the history, I don't know. It's just, to me, that is a cool thing to add. It adds a level of context, or it makes you think about it more, I guess.
Yeah.
In the cases of those, it might make you think poorly, but...
Well, and in my case, like, borrowing from, like, the iconography is a little bit different in spirit than using a name like Redskins or Indians or whatever. Because, like, if you're going to argue it's cultural appropriation, which I guess you could do, like... Mm-hmm. You would at least want to take into consideration the intent to some measure. And I don't think with the Canucks there's any intent to do anything but honor the past, in essence.
Yeah, there you go.
Because for years, And this is why I think the Canucks are such a great choice, because in my mind, that gives you all of the Canucks. And the Canucks change their mind every 4 seconds about what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. They had those uniforms that were black with like the red and orange and yellow V down the center,
God,
which looked ridiculous.
Ugly.
And then they had the one in the 90s that were red and orange and yellow with like the skate pattern.
Which is, I never knew that was going to be a skate. Like, I never knew that. I'm looking at it even right now, and I'm staring at it like, I guess? It's just a thing where it's like, I guess it is.
Well, and then like they've got the rink with like the stick and like 18 variations of that, and they've got the lumberjack, and they've got the lumberjack inside the V. They can't make up their mind, and like
it's one of those things too where like a lot of the logos I picked are like would work for like any sport. It's like that's the thing I actually took into consideration too.
Interesting.
The Canucks logo would work on anything.
Interesting.
So
it's funny you say that, because now that I look at mine,
could you see them being like not baseball or not football or not something?
Most of mine would be the same.
Yeah.
So far, at least. That's a great choice, and that's the funniest choice by far so far.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it.
It's cool you picked a hockey one. I think hockey has a very underrated aesthetic appeal.
It really does. And the only reason that people know it is when they do stupid redesigns. Like the Sabres redesigned it, so it's just a silver, gray, red buffalo head. And it's like, it's dumb. The old one was cool. Go back.
Yeah. I love...
Or the Ducks.
I love the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
From the teal and purple. I disagree. I think that's a huge win, getting away from the teal and purple Wild Wing days.
I don't know.
Although it's funny, the Ducks almost made my list for a novelty reason because of that Wild Wing jersey that they made.
Dude, for real.
With him smashing through the ice.
Yeah.
That thing is an iconically trashy jersey. I love it so much.
It symbolized everything rad about the 90s.
Pretty much.
Shit, yeah.
So I'm going to stick with hockey. I'm going to jump right into my third pick. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the Montreal Canadiens.
Dude, it's funny because that almost made my list.
So the Canadiens are effectively the Yankees of hockey.
Yeah.
They have the most Stanley Cups of any franchise ever.
It got boring.
It's because, they were just too good. Like, if you were a talented French-Canadian hockey player at any point between the 30s and, 70s, basically.
Oh, a long time.
Your goal was to play for the Canadiens, and the Canadiens would recruit you, and there was no free agency. There wasn't really, player agency in any capacity. That's what you did, is you played for the Canadiens. And you've got the Richards, and you've got Jean Beliveau, and you've got Yvon Cornway, and you've got, a string of just insanely skilled, legendary players. And, between them, it's you guys are going to win a lot of cups, and you're going to look great doing it.
Yep.
Because the red, the white, and the blue is a great combination.
It works for everything.
It pops really, really well with Montreal with the dominant red.
Yeah.
And I
the
love
little Habs H in the center.
Yeah, the logo's great. It's the C with the H in the center. Mm-hmm. The Canadians and the H symbolizing
they'll see it.
The H symbolizing habitants,
yeah.
which is the French way of saying Canadians in essence. My French accent is terrible, just FYI.
The fact that you can even say them at all. For me, it's ew, who wants to say something like that? Would you like a croissant?
What I love, and I'll try and pull it up for you.
Sorry, French people.
Yeah, jeez. That's some fucking Starbomb level of French patronizing.
At least I'm not Glass Joe.
Exactly. So you'll notice, I'll try and make it a little bigger, but one of my favorite nuances is the red jerseys look great, especially to me because they're so simple, but they've got that blue stripe around the torso, around the logo.
Uh-huh.
The white jerseys don't have it. They're plainer. Mm-hmm. But both looks work. They're timeless. To me, what helps define something timeless is if you don't overdo it, because the inclination after a certain point was to way overdo it. Like in hockey jerseys.
Like with the Canucks 90s logo.
Yeah, well, and in hockey you see jerseys with the piping, the apron piping down the chest, around the the width of the body, which looks terrible. And you'll see teams that add way too many stripes, or if you're the Cincinnati Bengals or the Minnesota Vikings, you'll add a weird half stripe to your pants and a bunch of weird stripes down the side panels, and it just overcomplicates things. Yep. To a wildly unnecessary degree.
If there's going to be one key takeaway from this entire draft is that simple is better.
Yeah.
That's the icon of an icon, you know?
moreover, in my mind, simple doesn't have to mean plain.
Yeah.
Because, like, I thought about putting Penn State on here, but I think Penn State football looks plain.
Yeah.
Because it's just blue and white block letters with a white helmet with one stripe.
Sure.
That's all there is to it. And it's like, okay, like, it's a timeless look, but it's a little plain. And you can do more without sacrificing, aesthetic brilliance.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, if I had to own one hockey jersey that wasn't my team's, it would be a Canadiens jersey.
That's a good choice. Also, I want to rephrase what I said. It puts the icon in iconic. That's what simple, elegant does.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
what was it? I actually applied to a graphic design place, and I said, what's one of your favorite logos? And I said the PlayStation logo. And the reason why is because it's deceptively simple.
That's very true.
It's deceptively elegant is what it is. It's this, like, I could go for days about it, but whatever. I couldn't talk for days about the PlayStation logo, but I could talk for days about logos in general, which is why we're doing this.
Yeah. See, I think this is going great. Like, you're more into the aesthetics of it because I'm not, like, I don't necessarily know what makes things look good. And a lot of my definitions are coming off like an amateur wine taster where it's like, oh, fruity.
The texture is so good.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know if I posted it on our blog, but I made a flowchart a while back describing how to be a Food Network host.
Yeah.
I'll post that.
All right,
I'm
sweet.
super proud of that still.
That's funny shit.
All right, so that's my number 3. Montreal Canadiens.
Dig it. Number 3 for me. There's at least 2 things on here that might be sleepers, and I think this is the first one. The 90s San Antonio Spurs logo.
Ooh. So, that is a sleeper.
Because, like, so you look at the Spurs right now, and it's kind of like it's Raiders colors now. It's just silver and black.
Although, I will say, I thought about putting the Spurs on my list because the U in the Spurs is a spur, which I think is pretty tight.
That's really cool. Like, I love how they integrated that and stuff. But the thing I loved about the 90s one, it's got, like, Painted Hills Easter colors.
You are not afraid of the fucking Miami colors.
Dude, I love that.
It's such a
much.
It's such a great logo.
I love it. I love it to death. Like, because you don't really see pastel colors in a lot of things. Because when you stick to something that's more iconic, you try to go with more recognizable, direct things. My elbow just popped. Ow. Ow. But, so you stick to things like, flag colors. Like, you'll see your reds, whites, blues, yellows, blacks, greens, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So when you see that, and it just kind of spits in the face of all of those conventions and still looks good, I love it. And the fact that, like I said, the Painted Hills, right? Yeah. You see, it actually looks like a paintbrush stroke.
It really does. Which I think is, it's one of those classic... 90s touches where you're like, oh, everything looked like this in the 90s, and it's easy to brush aside.
Yeah.
Even
aside.
And just say,
that one flew over my head and then came back around.
And just say, donkey punched you, is what you're saying. It's a little vulgar, but I'll allow it.
I was going to say like a boomerang. God.
Oh, so I'm the weird one. But, it's one of those things where, like, it's easy to brush aside. The 90s is like, oh, that was the style. But it's like, there was more thoughtfulness than people are given credit for when most logos are designed. And, like, you can say what you want about logo design, period. But, like, the people that make them put work and thought into them. It's not like they're all just, like, these haphazard accidents. It's like, fuck it, just have my kid draw a Carolina Panther.
Dude, for real. It's a conversation that actually comes up a lot of the time when I'm talking to people. It's like, so what does it take to be a designer? And I'm just like, because anybody who's anybody can say, like, oh, I can come up with something. You can come up with something, but can you come up with something good?
Right.
It's what was it? Even like the 3-year-old thing, like you just mentioned, like an actual painter is in like a modern art museum, and reviewer actually said, like, oh, my 3-year-old kid could draw this. Why is it hanging in a museum? And he just literally found the guy and said, do it. Make your kid draw what I just did. And he couldn't do it. And it's like, see, shut up. I love that. Like, it's that kind. It's like in the back of my mind. Like, that movie Birdman came out with Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where he just rips into a critic, and I'm just like, that's what every artist needs to do in their life.
So what I'm hearing is that movie is just artist catharsis.
It is, and it's also artist, like, not shaming, what's the word for it? Hell, basically.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I love that movie. But
cool.
Digressions aside, number 3, right?
Yep.
The Spurs, man. That was kick-ass. Like, if I was going to have a basketball jersey, I would never wear one because they're sleeveless. damn, I go with that.
That is a terrific choice. It's the only, by the way, basketball choice that might get taken. I didn't have any basketball. On my list.
I went back and forth a lot on other actual teams, but we'll just save those for the honorable mentions.
Sure, I think that's a great choice. I'm kind of at a crossroads now because I've only got 2 picks left, and I've got at least 3 very worthy choices here. Whew. I think I'm gonna stick to my original guns, and for number 4, I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns.
Damn.
Football.
Oh, college football, the orange Longhorn looking deal.
Yep.
Dig
So, when you're looking for design elements, one of my big things is I love minimalism, and I love sort of the implied use of negative space, as it were, or whatever.
Yeah. That's actually how I did my logo.
Yeah. So, and the Longhorns logo on the helmet isn't exactly negative space, but it is sort of on the jerseys. And I don't know, man. The Longhorns just look good. They have that burnt orange and that white, which feels 100% Texas to me. Like,
wide open.
For whatever reason, like, looking at the Texas Longhorns football team, and if you change those jerseys to any other color,
it wouldn't work.
I'd say no. It doesn't make sense. You couldn't make them green.
You couldn't make them like red or blue.
You couldn't make them like a lighter shade of orange or a darker shade of orange.
They have Texas Longhorn orange.
Texas is just burnt orange and white. And their helmets are white with an orange, symmetrical, cool, vagina-esque Longhorn decal. It's a little Georgia O'Keeffe, but what do you do?
What do you do?
And, it's orange jersey, white pants. Or, white jersey, white pants. It's beautiful. It's 100%, I think, symbolic of college football. A lot of college football teams made my, initial cut, by the way, just because, they've been around for so long, and it's one of the more iconic, tradition-rich sports. To me, not much of a question. Love the Texas Longhorns look. If I could have picked a school to go to besides the one I went to, or Michigan, I guess, I would have gone to Texas just for the logo. That's how dedicated I am to lying about how dedicated I am.
Very nice.
So yeah, it's number 4.
It. So mine next pick actually might be a bit of a twofer, but I'm looking at them both right now, and they don't have a lot of similar design elements or even the colors I was thinking of. So I might end up just taking one of them, and now I got to take a pick of one.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Late draft drama.
Yeah. So
it's okay. There isn't like a real clock. So.
I know, but I'm staring at him right now. There's in that stupid movie that Clint Eastwood made.
What?
Draft Day, whatever.
That was a Clint Eastwood movie?
I think it was.
No.
No, it was whatever.
Whatever.
Clint Eastwood isn't doing very good movies anymore. Anyway.
American Sniper?
It's terrible.
Whatever. Gran Torino was good.
Gran Torino was good. That was his last good one. Anyway.
Mystic River was good.
Now we're talking about. We're talking about right now.
Okay.
We're also not talking about movies. We're talking about logos, goddammit.
Next draft, Clint Eastwood movies.
There you go. Dude.
No.
Okay. So,
4th pick.
Had a little bit of foreshadowing. I'm taking the friggin' Anaheim
You are
Ducks.
such a weirdo.
Dude.
Why would you do that?
I am showing him a picture on my phone right now.
I know
look
what it
at
looks
that thing.
I know what it looks like.
I know, but look at it. It's purple, green, yellow, and black. Oh my god. Like, to me, there is nothing more that epitomizes 90s color schemes and design sense than this right here. It's like an acid green with a toxic purple, and you could say that about those colors.
Just to be clear, you're using that as a positive for this choice?
Yes, because I would what was it? I have this image in my head of kind of like rappers or some shit, in big old, oversized jackets running around, and they got logos, and they're Anaheim Ducks jackets.
And one of the dudes is wearing a Tasmanian Devil
Yeah, and he's,
t-shirt.
all hood looking.
Yeah, and one of the dudes has, a starter jacket of, the 49ers in your weird world.
No, I was going to say, the San Jose Sharks or something like that.
Oh, God.
Yeah. just making it so California looking. But anyway, dude... everything about this to me, in my first reaction, would scream ugly. No, never. Why?
Well,
but I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that shit. Oh man,
It's a terrible choice.
It is a great choice.
You just blew this 100%. There are at least 24 timeless, iconic, wonderful brand identities out there. And you picked
blew it.
And you picked the 1990s Anaheim Ducks. First of all,
you blew it.
Teal is not an acceptable uniform color. It just isn't.
No.
It's not great. Purple is acceptable in some cases.
Dude, again, it's not about that. What it's about is just, in its time, for some reason, everything was just right about it. And that's why I have it on my list.
I mean, I'll give you that. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of weirdly like the duck goalie mask. Just because it's one of those things that I'm sure when they were pitching the idea, they were like, yeah, what if we got one of those, like, old school goalie masks, but, like, it had a duck bill, so it was like a duck mask.
Brilliant.
And they were like, that'd be stupid. Wait, should we do that?
I love it. I love it so much.
Wow.
Now that you even made up that story, I'm just like, I love it more.
That's a very defensible ground to stand on. Is a thing that was only a product of its time and was probably created.
Well, because the one they
based
have
on a
now is shit anyway, so whatever.
Well, I'll agree with that.
Brown. It's just brown, the logo.
It's gold.
It's brown, the logo. It's
gold and orange.
Shut up.
It's what?
It's brown.
It's not brown.
It's brown and yellow.
Straight up not brown.
Gross.
It's not.
Gross.
You're
just go to the next pick.
That's like calling Anaheim's colors red and white.
No, I'm calling it brown because it looks brown. It's gross.
It's not brown.
Whatever. Just go to your fourth, fifth pick.
I'm on my fifth.
Okay.
I've got a choice to make, and I'm probably going to make what will be considered the wrong of the two choices. But I'm taking the Oregon Ducks.
All right.
Now,
that classic green and yellow.
Well, I'm glad you were a lot less sarcastic than most people who would say that classic green and yellow and white and black and carbon color and like lightning yellow and different shades of green. The Ducks don't have a real quote-unquote identity. Like, it's the exact opposite of a Texas or a Michigan, where every week in, week out, you know what those schools are going to wear. You know what Alabama is going to wear.
Yeah.
You know what USC is going to wear. Oregon, week to week, they could come out in all white. They could come out in all black. They could come out in black and pink, like they did on that Thursday night game.
Yeah.
They could come out in
Kudos
green.
on the pink, I will say. I like the pink, I will say.
It was Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Well,
that's why they did it.
That's
it's
a
nice touch.
Yeah, they do it in the NFL too.
They could come out in black and yellow, or black and green, or green and yellow, or green and white, or green and
or those
carbon.
crazy '94 throwbacks they wore that I thought were fucking awesome.
And they could come out in their throwbacks, and like it's been such an iterative process to get even to this point. Because if you'll remember, they had jerseys that were like gaudy lightning yellow.
Yep.
They had jerseys with diamond plating on the shoulders.
To me, it's like the thing is that for me, you can't escape the narrative of it because like I don't see iteration in that. I think as excess. That's what I think they do.
See, and my take on it is twofold. The first is the Oregon logo design is thoughtful.
Yeah.
It's very thoughtful because it's an O, like a fat-shaped O. The outer ring of the O is the outline of Autzen Stadium,
and
the football stadium. O. And the inside is the outline of Hayward Field, which is the track. And I think that's terrific.
That is a thoughtful design. I'll give them kudos on that. Like, you have a miniature helmet over there.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
What did I say earlier?
I know.
Come on, you're calling me out?
I know. I'm just saying, it's you just like the logo.
Yeah.
You just like the logo. It looks great. I mean, you got a Denver Broncos one, too. That logo's just kick-ass.
You're just fucking making it seem like I'm making this a homer pick, and I'm not even.
I'm not, because
I ain't even.
Because even there'd be a part of me that would take it if you didn't.
Wow.
Because of the O itself.
Well, and then, like,
Deceptively elegant. We used those words today. With the PlayStation logo.
You did that.
Well, I did. But I'm saying
maintain my heterosexuality.
I hate you. Fuck your pick. And fuck your alma mater,
you're
the
like,
Denver Broncos.
You're like number 5 Oregon State rival. Real quick, finish up on Oregon. Like, the O logo's great. They parlay that into like their own font or whatever. They've made a bunch of very questionable choices, but like, for me, that gaudiness, that attention getting, was never about like a hey, look at me attitude. It was more of like a look, it's going to take two things to get you to notice a West Coast football team that isn't fucking USC or UCLA.
Yeah.
And it's going to take something that catches the attention very, viscerally, and that's going to be these crazy uniforms or whatever. And it's going to be putting a good football team on the field. And they've sort of complemented each other as the program has risen to prominence.
Sure. I mean, now they're in the BCS title game, right? They're doing playoffs this year.
Playoff title game, but yes. So to me, I think it's cool when having an identity is part of week to week. You don't know what you're going to look like, and you're not afraid to change things.
And what's kudos for all of that. What's interesting to me too is that for me it also represents a team or like a franchise or even a logo that can't escape a reputation.
Yeah,
because it's like infamous versus famous. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's how sometimes it can come across. And for me, like, I can appreciate all of the things about the O. I can appreciate the classic yellow-green color scheme. I can represent, like, they have alternates. They have the ability to change. They have all of the candor, spirit, whatever you want to say about it. But it comes down to, like, when you have just douchebags make it ruining it for everybody. That's just what happens.
What do you mean?
It's like people who like go there talk about, or it's like, yeah, that's our team. It's the best one. We all standing around and a fucking jerk off each other and this fucking whatever.
Well, everyone does that.
I know, but it's like, bad no matter. It's not, I'm not saying it's like exclusively to them. It's bad when anybody does it, but it's sometimes you just can't escape that reputation. For me,
yeah. Agreed. But like, I don't know. To me, like, yellow and green aren't the strongest uniform colors. Like, I think the Packers look great, but everything else is a little dicey. But like, I like to think of it this way: if the Ducks had still worn what they were wearing in the 90s, yellow helmet, green interlocked, like UO, very simple, very boring logo, like green jersey, yellow pants or whatever, it would have looked ridiculous. No one would have taken them seriously. Yeah. Now, because of all the advancements they've made, they can go back and wear those as throwbacks, and it's like, oh, those are cool now.
Remember when we didn't care? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my 5. It was a tough choice. There are a lot of great logo and uniform combinations out there.
That's actually going to come up in the honorable mentions when we get there.
I'm going to have like 20.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot too.
Nice.
Okay,
anyway,
so I said...
So that's number 5.
Yeah, number 5 for me. So I said before that there was going to be like sleepers in this one. Mm-hmm. So the first one was the Ducks. The other Ducks.
Right.
The better Ducks.
Whoa.
Yeah. Mic drop. I'm not going to hit my mic, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Fucking... So, this one, I actually thought about a long time if I even wanted to put it on the list at all. Like, I knew I wanted it in some approximation. I didn't know if I wanted to save it for an honorable mention. But somehow it just creeped up to the middle of my list. Top 5. Well,
wow.
It's 6 since I skipped the other one. But my final pick... And I don't sound very commanding when I say it like that. My final pick, number 5. The 1990s WWF logo.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
That is a sleeper pick.
Dude, when I was pulling up pictures of it as we were talking. Look at that shit.
Okay. Credit where it's due. That is a lot cooler logo than I would have thought.
Yeah, because
in fairness, it looks kind of like two snakes boning. But, I see the W, the W, and the F.
Yep, and it just looks... I love this friggin' logo. And, like, what was I going to say about it? Like, to me, because I'm captivated just by looking at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the reason I picked it was that, like, it has a ringing of, like, an early MTV.
Yes, it does.
And so, I mean, color combinations, whatever, but, like, it's just, like, boom, there it is. Boom, you know what this is. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. And then the boom, boom, booms from all the wrestling. But,
right.
Also, when you see, like, the one that's kind of like the chrome painted, like shieldy looking one that's all shiny and stuff, I'm just like, dude, that's the most Trumpish logo I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen things on, like, Trump towers before.
I've been to Trump towers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
So suck on that.
So you would know.
Well, I mean, not really. You can't do much in there besides walk in and be like, oh, I've been here.
Well, anyway, but...
time to head back to my
seriously, the
hotel elsewhere in Manhattan.
Yeah, so for some reason, like, to me, it just plays to a certain sensibility in me. Like, it's not deceptively simple. It's not really... It's simple, but it's not like... you look at it, like your first reaction might be that it actually is kind of weird. Like you said, like
it is a little
two
weird.
snakes boning. But like,
oh, thanks for making me sound like a fucking.
sometimes I like to show my snake to the wrestlers. Oh, you broke my arm.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Steve-O Stretch Armstrong.
I want one.
I mean, Dad would play with that.
And it's like one of those things that you like. It's a toys that you poke, and it's like you're breaking my arm.
How
a wrestling toy?
How could we successfully turn let's combine celebrities with old toys into a viable business? You know what I mean?
Dude, stop talking about it because that's gonna happen now.
I want like, Barack Obama G.I. Joe. I want like
G.I. Bo.
I want like ooh. See, this idea has legs. Okay?
Oh my god. Okay, stop talking about it so we can patent it or some
Strawberry shortcake Rahm Emanuel.
Only. Stop. We're gonna talk about this afterward. Okay.
You're like actually afraid.
No, because I actually want to do it now. Anyway, so
that's a funny logo choice.
And the reason why I picked it was because it's a stuck-in-time logo, kind of like the Ducks. Because
yeah, well, I was just gonna say,
look at what they did.
It looks like
afterward, like that scribbled W with the red underline, and how gross it is.
It's a little weird.
And like they have a new one, which is this one.
The early one is definitely stuck in time because it looks exactly like the MTV. I mean, you said it. It's like the MTV Generations, like. Here's your logo, wow, wow, and then like rotates around the screen as people were the first people of their generation to learn about how to use TV graphics. Yeah,
and it was friggin' like Transformers style, like and it flips in.
Or like the old Batman,
dude. Yeah, it's just to me, it's like that's what that logo feels like to me.
That's funny,
and so that's why I picked it.
I will have to downgrade this choice a little bit though because this was supposed to be sports, and wrestling isn't a sport.
It's not a sport.
It's like a performance art.
But damn.
That'd be like picking...
Imagine it. That's what the XFL was supposed to do.
That'd be like picking, a ballet logo. The XFL, I read a thing a couple months ago. The XFL was a lot more of a visionary league than people give it credit for.
Really?
Yeah. Like, the sideline interviews with people was a thing that most NFL broadcasts weren't doing. Like the use of instant replay technology wasn't a thing that they did a lot of in football. Like, I don't remember them all offhand, but like the XFL did a lot of good things.
Leave it to McMahon.
That the NFL ended up just, taking in essence when the XFL folded.
There you go. I mean, it's like when they had the American Football League and that's where the AFC came from.
Yeah.
So we all complement each other, but it always kind of gets absorbed into the maw of the NFL.
That's true.
So there you go. So I think solid picks all around for whatever reasons we picked them.
Yeah. I think my takeaway from this draft was there were a few. The first is that football, I think, has a lot of very strong identities. And I don't know why.
Baseball, too.
I didn't pick very many basketball, and I think it's partially because there's more uniform to work with in hockey, football, and baseball than there is with just, like, a fucking glorified wife beater, which I always thought was a stupid style anyway. But, whatever. There are iconic basketball jerseys, like the Celtics look great, and the Bulls look great, and you picked the Knicks. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you picked the Knicks. I forgot. That was your first. So you picked the Knicks, and the Spurs. Good for you. I gravitated a lot toward football and hockey. There were a couple baseball on my list. I just think it's easier to look timeless with like a real timeless program, though, is kind of how I ended up doing it. It was a little boring. I thought Oregon was my like risky pick, my off the board.
Then you hear my two.
WWE.
Yeah. So I want to jump into some honorable mentions because I'm actually looking at some I have saved on the laptop right now.
Sure.
The number pick that was going to be after the WWF logo is a J-League team for soccer, the Kashima Antlers, because
I want to see it.
Because it might make some rustling noises here, but up we go. Look at that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, because if it wasn't on like a soccer uniform, it'd be like on like a classy ass car, I think.
Or like, well, and again, look at the backdrop. It's a shield crest.
Yep.
That makes a huge difference, right?
Yep. And like, it's funny because I started like looking at all of the J League teams because the JEF United Chiba, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, holy shit. I love this one, too. I'm not going to pick up my laptop
That's
again.
fine. I'll look at it in a
But,
minute. I'll pretend I saw it. Wow, that is tight.
that is cool.
I love the
yellow,
colors.
red, and green.
No, okay.
Jamiroquai.
Well, apparently I don't love the colors.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. You'll
Whatever.
see it in a bit. But
right.
anyway, so many of those teams have just kick-ass crests on them. And, like, it's funny because I was actually thinking about, like, Premier League stuff and soccer in general.
I was thinking about going with soccer.
Like, there'd be too many to take from there. Like, you could do a separate draft all there, like top 10, like, fantasy draft of soccer teams.
I love the Arsenal iconography. I think
Shit,
Tottenham
yeah.
Hotspur has a great logo / identity.
I like, we talked about, like, pastel colors. Man City's now, that has, like, the powder blue.
The thing that ruins soccer jerseys for me and why I gravitated away from
Is the
them
ads on
is
them?
the ads on them.
Unless there's something cool, like, I don't know, Sega.
Even then, man.
Even then, sure.
Although I had on my list, one of my honorable mentions was the Netherlands national soccer jersey.
The orange and black.
They call that team the Brilliant Orange.
For a reason.
Yeah, and those jerseys, those stand out. Like, Holland is playing.
Yeah.
Well, and I love...
Look like safety cones running around.
And it's one of those weird nuances of international soccer where the colors of the flag are not the iconic soccer colors.
Yeah.
The Netherlands colors are like red, blue, and white, and their flag. Their jerseys are bright orange. Italy's flag, red, white, and green.
But they have blue jerseys.
Their jerseys are blue. Yeah, it's one of those weird nuances. But
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can just do whatever you want.
But I think that's equally iconic. It was hard to leave those off.
Yeah. I'm going to run through just a few more I've gotten written down here, then we'll jump into yours.
Do it.
But the next one was going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I thought real hard about taking that.
And the reason why, because, like, it's such a stupid, childish reason, I think, but, like, the stars in the middle, the red, blue, and yellow, it looks like a power-up in a video game to me. Like, I want to, like, have that on, like, a uniform or some shit. That looks cool to me.
The Steelers are cool. The black and gold, or black and yellow, looks great. I was watching the game.
A black with any color accent is awesome.
I was watching the game last night, and, like, it's the same deal. Like, they just have one stripe down the middle of the pants, and, like, a couple on, like, the cuff, and, like, that's it. And then their helmet is one of the only helmets in sports, maybe the only one, where one side's blank and one side has the logo.
There you go.
Kind of a cool little quirk.
Yeah, you got to do something in Pittsburgh.
Steelers look great.
Yeah.
Well, evidently you do, because every fucking Pittsburgh team is black and gold. The Pirates and the Penguins both do that.
That's true, they do. So just lump the entire city together.
Evidently.
Yeah.
I take Pittsburgh.
There you go. Steel City, baby. Anyway, the other one I wanted to list real quick was the Ottawa Senators.
Really? That's interesting.
Not the original O, but the first time they did, like, the senator-looking guy. Everything about that logo to me is just awesome. I mean, red, black, and gold as color combination is kick-ass.
It's a very, like, regal senatorial color.
Yeah, and, like, the way that's it. It's the Senators.
Yeah.
You look at that, because, like, you look at Canadian teams and stuff like that. I mean, you got the Canadians, like you said.
Yep.
Instant iconic stuff. I look at the Senators for some reason. I'm just like, shit, yeah.
It's funny that made your list over Maple Leafs and Canucks.
Canucks went up there.
I know.
But, like, I don't know. The Leaves, to me, like, it's simple, but whatever. God, now people in Toronto are going to come kick my ass.
I wouldn't be worried if it's anything like their hockey team. You've got a good 50-ish years.
You're going to send Rob Ford to come party with me.
Well, that would be tight.
That'd be kick-ass. Send his brother, too. Anyway, and the last one I wanted to mention real quick, Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, the Flyers are great.
Yep.
I love...
Orange and black. I've always said, like I just said, black with any color accent's really great, but they do the opposite.
Yep.
Because they're Shitadelphia.
Good one. The Flyers look great. It's a cool nuance that it generally bears the shape of a P and an F.
Yep.
Which is nice.
What's funny, too, is I thought about other basketball teams. Another one I was going to do was the Pacers.
The Pacers look great.
Yeah.
I used to sort of, like, doodle that logo because it felt like the easiest to draw.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Awesome.
And that's kind of how I became a Pacers fan.
Yep.
That and Reggie Miller being super tight.
Yeah.
You picked a couple different hockey ones in your honorable mentions, which I think is appropriate. The one I skipped over to take the Ducks was the Red Wings. The Red Wings, if you were to design, like, a 6-team boilerplate league with generic color schemes and identities, and you were like, this is what you're assigned, make it pop as best you can, you're going to be the red and white team. The best result you could hope for would be the Red Wings. The winged wheel is one of the most beautiful logos. Like, it's intricate to the point of like, if you try to design that now, people would think you're crazy.
Yeah.
They'd be like, streamline it. This needs to be more minimalistic. This
see?
needs to be more Web 2.0, 3.0. Like, the feathers on the wing alone, it's like, what are you doing? But it looks tremendous. And like, the wheel up front has like a wheel guard, you know, like a motorcycle wheel guard, which looks great. The red with like the very simple white striping. The Red Wings are also one of the only teams with arched nameplates on the back.
Really?
So it's like customized. Instead of like a boilerplate
it's just straight on.
nameplate, it's like it arches the name across the back. So it's custom for each player.
Yeah.
Which I think is terrific. I had the other hockey one I want to mention on my list was the Whalers.
Dude,
I can't believe no one took the Whalers.
No, because it's funny because in my mind, like I had, for some reason, the Ducks and the Whalers in the same kind of group in my mind.
Yeah.
But then I realized that the Whalers don't have purple in it.
No, they don't.
So
they weren't
reasons.
Radical enough for
you see?
Oh.
You can either go too rad or not rad enough.
Well, as long as it was a good reason. I can't believe, though, that you wouldn't take the Whalers after talking about negative space, because it's one of the best examples of how to use it.
I know.
The bottom of the logo is a W.
Yeah.
The whale fin on the back is a whale fin for the Whalers. And the negative space created in between forms an H for Hartford.
I know.
It's a tremendous logo.
It's a great one.
The whale is dearly, dearly missed in the league.
Yeah. Because now
fuck you, Hurricanes.
Dicks.
Go eat a bunch of whale dicks.
And look at the Hurricanes logo compared to the Whalers logo. Terrible.
I'll just run through a couple more very quick. I put the Raiders on here. Hate the Raiders as a football team.
But they're like eye patch, leatherhead looking dude.
It's all the eye patch like pirate logo is a cool older logo. It's set over a shield. The shield crest looks terrific. And I'm telling you, man, silver and black. It doesn't get. It's like a
silver and black. You don't rock it back.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
It's one of those looks where it's like a 2-piece, really classic tailored suit.
Yeah.
It never goes out of style. You can wear it with anything. It'll always look good.
There you go.
Whenever the Raiders, no matter who, with maybe the exception of like Sebastian Janikowski, no matter who puts on that logo, they just look good. They look great playing. I had the Milwaukee Brewers on here.
Really?
Do you remember their old school logo?
No, I don't. But like for some reason, I can kind of picture it.
So what I'm a sucker for is a logo design that's thoughtful and meaningful within the context of its city and its league.
Yeah.
So it's a logo in the shape of a glove,
but it's
the
got
laces
the M and
of the
B.
glove form the M, and the thumb and the palm form the B, and there's a baseball in the palm for the whole of the B. It's a cool blue and gold. Like, to me, if that were still around, the Brewers would be my favorite baseball team. As it stands, another team that I thought about adding, the Blue Jays are my favorite team.
Dude.
It's not because of their logo, but,
yeah,
it's a cool logo nonetheless.
It is a cool logo, and they added the little Canadian leaf on top.
Yeah, well, which I think is a nice choice.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I had a lot of honorable mentions. I had the LA Kings on here for their retro purple and gold style.
Oh, God.
Which was like gaudy, but like in a weird regal sense. So
well,
like
the Lakers still use it, so there you go.
you could kind of get away with it. And the reason I didn't end up doing it, the current Kings are atrocious.
Really?
It's like the opposite of the Raiders.
Can I, does he have a picture of it? Because I got to see that now. I'm going to have to make a note on all of these to put pictures in now.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, then it's going to be a real bummer when I throw a bunch of teams out in just a second.
Please don't.
Here you go. Like black,
that one,
ugly
yeah.
piping, stupid crest,
Dude,
dumb
yeah.
use of silver,
Yeah.
like too monochromatic. It doesn't make any sense. The last honorable mention I wanted to give, I guess for your sake, is have you seen the Washington Capitals alternate logo?
No. I don't think I have. For some reason I thought they were the Nationals.
No. So they don't. What kills me, what absolutely fucking kills me, is they don't use this as the primary logo on anything. I believe it's on their...
that one's kick-ass!
I believe it's on their shoulder pads. But
dude.
It's the Weagle. It's the W-shaped eagle where the bottom
is the
cutout is the Capitol building.
That's so cool.
It's tremendous. It's a great use of their colors. It's a beautiful logo in and of itself. There's thoughtful iconography.
Like, I want a tattoo of that. That's cool.
Some people say that this part in the center, the little like inset in blue, is meant to represent the Washington Monument. I don't agree. It's not quite the same. It's a stretch.
It is a stretch. Because
it's not the same shape at the top. Still, though, like in and of itself, one of the prettiest logo
designs. That should just be
designs.
our flag now.
I'd be okay with that.
That'd be cool.
And then,
as in, like, W stands for, what does the W stand for? The world.
Illuminati is real.
Oh my goodness. This has been fun. This has been a lot of fun.
I think this was a great draft. If only because it meant I got to spend the better part of an afternoon just looking up and nostalgia baiting, kind of. Looking at, like, cool old retro pictures and reading the stories and histories of different things.
It's like when we did the game system in draft.
Yeah, kind of.
That was awesome.
Except for I didn't, like, I don't know, it's not the same.
It's different. Yeah.
Like, I respect Atari's place in history. I didn't want to go buy one. I want, like, all these jerseys now.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool.
I want a little Michigan helmet.
If you get an Atari jersey.
I wish, by the way, I had an Atari jersey.
I
almost glossed over that.
It's the boomerang. It went over your head and came right back.
Yes, boomerang. I really want, like, a small Michigan helmet. I don't even like Michigan. It's just
you hear that, Michigan?
Yeah. Fucking better.
Your helmet's cool, but your state? Bleh.
Enjoy your fucking Jim Harbaugh leaving you in 2 years to do something better, like I know he's going to. Never mind. Inside reference. Doesn't matter.
There you go.
Oh, well, that was fun. We should do a thing sometime.
I was thinking about doing some things too. I don't know anymore. I think I should do some other things instead.
I don't know, man. Life's a game.
Life's a thing.
Life's a dirty game. You gotta play dirty to win. Dash Harris. Do we have any thoughts about next time?
No, I want to go over some stuff with you. I have a couple ideas.
Oh.
So,
sucks to be the audience.
So, yeah, you might have to be left hanging on that one. So,
yeah, not privy to this.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. If you're not a sports fan or just like cool designs or whatever, we had fun.
I feel like if there's a Venn diagram encompassing all the types of people, sports fans and logo fans would overlap pretty significantly, but like the outer realms would be pretty small. Like, I think people would be fans of at least able to appreciate one or the other.
Yeah.
We left a lot of good stuff on the board, though.
Dude, for real.
I'm sure Blackhawks fans, Cubs fans,
Seattle Supersonics fans, Timbers fans,
49ers fans,
are
all sitting around being like, "What the fuck, man?
Can you believe them?
This is ridiculous."
Sox fans, just like, they were mad about everything.
I bet the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team are like, "Come on, we're the All Blacks, man! It's so iconic."
That's awesome.
They're hawking in anger.
They don't get angry at you in New Zealand. They just kind of get upset. They get upset around you.
I bet they get angry when they play rugby.
At the very least, the All Blacks are going to lose, man.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
Except for in that movie.
What movie?